G'day there guys, cap-wearing Marky back again, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good episode, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and let's do it. Let's get right into the episode. Posted by user xxoraclexx33, titled, Am I the asshole for not allowing my fiance's BF to come to our wedding? My fiancé and I have been together just under 6 years, dated 3, engaged 2.5. Great relationship, relatively. Our friends and family all get along well with the other person, no issue at all, except for one of my partner's best friends. Said best friend has never liked me and seemingly had it out for me the entire time. She basically ignores my existence, refuses to speak or be cordial to me, but as soon as she sees my partner, she's yelling and hugging him, talking about, "Hey best friend," while ignoring me, even though I'm right next to him. I told him about it and how it made me feel, and at first it went unaddressed 2 to 3 more times because he needed proof to make sure that there was an issue. After said proof was present, he spoke to her about it and she got a little better, but only around groups of people and like twice. She indicated that she doesn't have a problem with me, so he felt that I'm the only one having an issue and I need to just approach her and talk it out. I told him that I'm not doing that because she isn't my friend and he needs to do so. A couple of weeks ago, we attended a mutual friend's party. I attempted to make eye contact and say hello 2 to 3 times, but she avoided me and refused to look at me the whole time. My fiancé noticed because it was so blatant. I don't want her respect, don't need her to like me, and don't honestly want her around at all. I just want her to have basic human decency. This situation has caused me to rethink my relationship and end it because I feel my fiancé is in the wrong for engaging with her after seeing how she completely disregards me. I think now, but mostly after marriage, we're supposed to be a unit, and I wouldn't allow this behavior from a friend. I've been feeling like an asshole because we spent the better half of a nice drunken evening arguing about this, and I told him that she can't come to our wedding, as I won't have someone who can't seem to stand me near me. Am I the asshole for telling my fiancé that she can't come to our wedding? In the comments, Kuet says, not the asshole, but I am surprised that you decided to marry someone who allows such behavior toward you. OP replies, I don't want to ruin what has otherwise been the healthiest and best relationship in my life, but I've been thinking on it hard. Because where are the boundaries? She is not distant with you. She pretends that you don't exist. A good partner wouldn't keep her as a friend. Moreover, most people don't need to face such dilemma once they are done with high school. Why? Usually when someone doesn't like a friend's significant other very much, she or he tries to befriend the significant other anyway because she or he isn't afraid to lose his or her friend. If there is really no compatibility, she or he tends to avoid the significant other, but they don't become openly hostile to avoid losing their friend, except if they have a real reason to dislike the significant other. Ask yourself, 1. Why does your significant other accept the way that his friend behaves towards you? 2. Why does she think that she can increase the hostility she displays towards you over time? I guess she assumes there'll be no consequences, and/or she thinks that she is his number one. OP replies, True. I think she thinks she is his number one, and he'll choose her if it came to the wire. She acts very much like a high schooler, and that's something that I can't get jiggy with. I don't know why he's accepting of this behavior. It definitely makes me suspicious at first because I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why aren't you defending me? But to be honest, he is non-confrontational, avoids any type of conflict, and tends to make excuses for everyone. Here's the thing, OP. He has basically chosen her over you almost every time. Why is he okay with hurting you, the person he's in a relationship with, to avoid conflict with his friend? I'm not going to say break up, but I think you need to take a long look at his behavior and decide if you want to spend the rest of your life being put second. Because by being non-confrontational and allowing her to continue to disrespect you, he is choosing a side and it's not yours. OP replies, I'm starting to see that more and more. I don't know, it's not a big deal to him. He brushes it off as just her being her, but you're absolutely right, he's not choosing me. It's a hard realization to come to, and I'm sorry that it's necessary. I know you love him and want the best for him, but you deserve someone who also wants that for you, and treats you accordingly. You deserve someone who will put you first, will stand up for you, and not accept someone disrespecting you. Whatever decision you make, I wish you the best. Arsenal7 says, not the asshole, but your fiancé is. Had he ever asked her what her effing problem is? Take a hard stance on no invites. OP replies, that's how I feel too, but I don't know. He said he has, and she said she had no issue with me. Yeah, and we both know that that's not true, or there would have been a behavior change. The fact that he continues to allow her in his life without one is unacceptable. OP says, it's a lie. I've tried saying that. I'll bring it up again calmly. Not the asshole. She's in love with your man, upset that he's with you, and pretending like you don't exist to make herself feel better. She won't say or do anything to make him upset. Her saying she has no problem with you is because the problem isn't with you technically, it's with him. She was hoping for her romantic movie moment when the male best friend finally realizes and falls for his female best friend. OP replies, to be honest, this is what my best friend and a select few people that I told about this a while ago had said. There were times on social media where she indicated that she was the ideal woman for him and that he needs someone like her. I reckon they're cheating. I reckon they're cheating together, and they've just, kept it under wraps for this long. There's no way. OP, if everyone sees it, there is definitely an emotional affair going on here, and I would seriously push for there is a physical affair going on here. You're the placeholder. You're always going to be the placeholder for your fiancé, where she is the real wife. I don't know why people play these stupid games, because my money's on the fact that he breaks up with you or you break up with him, he gets with her, and then she's like, haha, I had my fun, I don't want to be with you, bye. Then he has no one in his life and he deserves it. To me, that's a logical outcome of these things, and I will refuse to accept the fact that there is no cheating going on here. And you shouldn't marry this man. Not the asshole for not allowing the fiancé, but somewhat of an asshole to yourself if you marry this guy. This situation sucks and everyone around you can see it. And now, on to the updates. The comments on my original post opened my eyes and made me realize that despite this being the healthiest relationship I've been in, it doesn't mean that it's actually healthy. We've had a couple conversations surrounding this issue, which mostly consisted of me saying that it bothered me and him saying that I was the only one who cared. A couple things helped me realize my breaking points. 1, I asked him if he would be okay with our daughter's future partner treating them like this, to which he got flustered, shut down, and said he didn't want to talk about it, so I left it alone. 2, he said he didn't want to end his friendship or do anything to jeopardize it because what if we break up? This made me realize he would not protect me as his wife since he didn't as his girlfriend. The final straw was when I expressed how much it bothered me that he wanted me to blow this off since we, as in me and the best friend, only see each other 4 to 6 times a year, and he said, directly quoted because this is burned into my brain, I know the way she treats you is garbage, but you're allowing one person to dictate our relationship. It could be worse. She could be more active. There are way worse ways to meddle. People text and lie and all that to break relationships up. The first line broke my heart and told me all I needed to know. I had to truck through a couple more months of pre-planned and paid-for social engagements, but I closed the curtain on any chance of healing this relationship the moment those words left his mouth. Thank you everyone for the advice, common sense, knocking me upside my head, and similar related experiences and outcomes. I'm going to go to therapy and redefine what a healthy, balanced, and communicative relationship is. Edit. The pre-planned events aren't wedding/engagement related. We share a home and need to divide assets, pets, and a custody schedule. Additionally, we have vacations, planned with a mutually shared friend group. Boyfriend is not part of that group, and I appreciate the concerns, but I need to plan things out a little more. There will be no second chance. To those that keep saying they're screwing, probably. When I first brought this up, he became stressed and kept emphasizing how I thought he was screwing his best friend and didn't address the issue that was brought up. I don't care to know or confirm. Edit 2, we are not getting married, nor are we continuing our relationship. For those thinking that I'm using the pre-planned events to justify holding out, absolutely effing not. Our relationship was dead the moment he admitted that she treated me like garbage and basically just shrugged it off. As a note, I never asked him to cut anyone off out of his life. I simply asked for basic greetings and acknowledgement during the rare encounters with his BFF. This hasn't happened, aside from a couple of begrudging times. Final edits. I tried asking him the "what would you tell your daughter to do" question. He answered that if she loved her partner, she shouldn't care about outside people. Additionally, he said he was tired of talking about it, he feels he's done all he can, and he doesn't want us, me, to bring her up because he's tired of talking about it. I told him our relationship is done in September, when our lease is up, etc., apologized for bringing it up, and asked if he wanted to be alone for the evening. Thank you to everyone for helping me realize that I wasn't asking for too much. I really thought he was the one for me, but I wasn't thinking straight. I'm tired and I want better for myself. I'm okay with being alone. I appreciate you all. Have a good night. In the comments, Scenarioing says, quote, I know the way she treats you is garbage, but you're allowing one person to dictate our relationship. No, he is the one doing that. It could be worse. She could be more active. She hasn't actually said she wanted to sleep with him yet. Is what that means. She doesn't have to say that. They probably did it, and not just once. That's why she's so confident about her role in his life. That, or he's her backup plan. If OP ever actually ends things, the friend will claim that she feels bad until she gets a new boyfriend. Then she'll pop back up when he gets another girlfriend. Yes, it is all narcissism. She doesn't want the fiancé, but she wants to be wanted. He's mine! I call dibs! No, I don't really want him, but I may, in the future, who knows? He cannot entertain another woman because I am still number one. No one else will take my spot. What? You broke up? Aw, man, too bad. I mean, I already have a boyfriend, but don't go anywhere. I might need you to prop up my ego, just at a later date. He said he didn't want to end his friendship or do anything to jeopardize it, because what if we break up? This made me realize he would not protect me as his wife. Yup, the friend comes before you. What a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can't live in the what-ifs. Don't worry about the planned and pre-planned events. Get out now. The relationship is dead. Don't wait until the stench kills everyone around you. If the money's lost no matter what, skip on out and give yourself the gift of more time to heal and deal. Good luck, OP. You can do this. Sunk cost fallacy is at play here. Rip off the bandage. It only gets messier the longer you wait. 'Cause why do you have to truck through any pre-planned events? Honey, nothing is worth losing the time and space you'll gain by bowing out now. He's made clear that you are second, at best, in his life. Losing money is not fun, but losing time, the time you could be using to heal, is the best gift you can give yourself. Be kind to yourself first. The OP was originally posting on the Dead Bedroom subreddit, but deleted those posts, so I don't think her relationship was as great as she thought it was. Oh well, hopefully she learns from this. Holy shit, I just went through OP's history and came across this gem from their very first effing post. Recently, on 2 separate occasions, he was drunk. The first he told me, I want to bang you and my friend together. The most recent time he said, yeah, if we weren't together, maybe before, or if we broke up, I'd try that. Both of these were unprompted. The issue is I feel this is disrespectful, and even drunk as a skunk, I wouldn't say anything like this. He claims he wasn't there and doesn't remember anything, and wants to move on, because me being angry is getting us nowhere. Whenever they say, this is the best, healthiest relationship I've ever been in, I just want to go, okay, you've got shit taste in partners, but that still doesn't make this one healthy. It's always, it's the best, healthiest relationship I've ever been in, except this one thing my partner does that makes me feel like shit and that I don't matter to them, and now that I'm thinking about it out loud, it's actually a deal breaker. Thanks everyone for your time and input. I mean, I almost married the first dude who didn't hit me. The bar was low. Look, I know that there was a lot of comments there, but I feel like they just needed to be said, especially that one about her first post. He was definitely banging the ever-loving Christ out of that best friend. Why did he bring that up unprompted to his fiancé? How was that necessary? They also had a dead bedroom. That is a very key component in someone cheating. His needs were being satisfied somewhere else. Why did she have to post in the dead bedroom subreddit? And yeah, like those guys were saying, just because it's the healthiest relationship you've had so far, doesn't mean you need to stay in it, and doesn't mean that it is healthy at all. Because isn't it so funny that when you type everything out and you get everyone else's perspective, they're like, he's not good for you. Get away from him. What are you doing? Why would you marry someone like that? Are you out of your damn mind? I don't know though, OP. I'm very much glad that you're out of there and that you're doing a lot better now, hopefully. And I hope you get married to someone that doesn't disrespect you every step of the way there, like this guy has. So all the best of luck in the future, OP, and thank you for sharing your story. Our next post is by user Dread Pirate Grant, titled, "Am I the asshole for not letting my kids ride 4 hours home with their grandmother?" Around 1 a.m., there was a terrible crash as my 70 female mother-in-law decided to try to navigate our stairs in the dark while wearing a CPAP. She stumbled down the stairs, hitting her head bad enough to bruise her face and cause some serious swelling around her ear. I immediately started calling 911, but my wife, who was an NICU RN, told me not to call as her mother had no obviously broken bones and didn't want to go. I'm not a medical professional, and it's seldom wise to argue with a nurse or one's wife, but I pressed for them to at least let me drive her to the ER if they refused an ambulance, but all to no avail. This was just a couple of hours ago, and she's now in bed with an ice pack and a couple of Tylenol to avoid blood thinners. In the morning, she wants to drive home and take my 9 female daughter and 13 male son to her place for the week. This has been planned for weeks, and I would have no issues with it, but for the fact that the woman just fell down a flight of stairs and could have a concussion. I love her, and don't want her to drive at all, and asked her to stay a couple of extra days. But if she insists on going, then I can't stop her. I told my wife I was uncomfortable with the kids riding with her, given the danger, and she thinks that I'm being silly, which I don't understand at all, as she's a very competent nurse. I finally told her that everyone could be mad at me, but it simply wasn't an option. I'll take the day off and drive them if I must, but I won't take any chances. Am I the asshole? In the comments, Starry North says, "I'm a nurse, and I'm frankly appalled at your wife's decision to not take her mother to the ER. A 70-year-old who suffers a fall and sustains head injuries should absolutely be checked out in the ER, whether or not your wife, your mother, or the Easter Bunny believes that it isn't necessary. If she absolutely refuses to go, tell her that your children will not be staying with her at her house, as you do not think it is safe. She could be suffering from a concussion or an intracranial bleed. The fact that she's on blood thinners makes the situation worse. And then she wants to not only drive, but take the children for days? Those poor children will be the ones that find her if she is bleeding internally. I don't think she's on blood thinners. I think he meant Tylenol was to avoid aspirin or Advil, which can thin blood. Usually that's a concern because the person is already on some kind of blood thinners, otherwise it wouldn't be much of a problem. I don't have many at that age that aren't on some type of thinner. My thoughts exactly. The risks of internal bleeding from head trauma are so much higher with age. The brain can have age-related atrophy, and then a stair fall can be as damaging as shaking a baby. She absolutely needed to go to the ED, and I haven't seen anyone address the cognitive process of walking with the whole CPAP machine, instead of at least disconnecting the mask from the tubing. Not the asshole, and your wife is being blindly irresponsible just because it's her mom. I would drive them yourself and make sure your children fully know how to contact you in an emergency should anything happen to mother-in-law whilst they are there. She's irresponsible as a daughter and a mother and a nurse. Not the asshole. I mean, do we forget Bob Saget so soon? He hit his head, went back to bed, and didn't wake up in the morning. I'd 100% tell her that your children's visit is contingent on going to get checked out before she drives home. Safer for her, safer for your children, safer for everyone else on the road during her 4-hour drive. Same with Natasha Richardson, but that was a ski accident, and she refused treatment. Always best to be looked at. I believe she passed several hours later from a brain bleed. Googled it. Even worse. A couple hours later, she had a headache and went to the hospital, but it was too late. She died a couple of days later. Really speaks to how urgent you need to get checked immediately. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, OP. Absolutely don't let her anywhere near that steering wheel if the kids are in the car. If she's gonna go taking joyrides down the stairs with her CPAP machine connected to her, she can do that all she wants in the safety of her own presence. But do not be putting those kids in danger. Thank you for being the voice of reason here when someone, like a nurse wife, will use her status and her education in order to trump you and your common sense. It seems as though she's not working off of common sense in this situation, and she's putting her own mother and her kids in danger just to save face or something like that. I don't know what she is thinking. If I were you, I would die on this hill. I would absolutely go to war for my kids. Definitely not the asshole OP. And now, onto the update. Well, my mother-in-law was alive and conscious when we woke up in the morning. My wife stayed up to watch over her throughout the night. I spoke to my wife this morning and again shared my concerns regarding the dangers my mother-in-law would be posing to herself and our kids, and my wife was frustrated that I questioned her opinion, but when I asked if she was so utterly certain in her diagnosis, sans any medical equipment, that she was willing to bet both her mother and our children's lives on it, she sheepishly relented and agreed the kids would stay home and that she would encourage her mum to go to the ER. I spoke to my mother-in-law again and asked her to let me take her to the ER, and she shared that her primary reason for refusing medical care was a fear of the cost of doing so. Unfortunately, that's a serious concern of many folks here in the US. Anyways, hearing that, I firmly insisted that she go and told her that we would cover any costs. She and my wife finally went to the ER, and after several hours and copious tests, it was in fact determined that she had a concussion as well as a rib and wrist fractures and soft tissue injuries. Bruising? My wife was pretty devastated with the diagnosis and was deeply apologetic and remorseful. My mother-in-law will be in hospital until at least tomorrow. The hospitalist pretty directly chided both my wife and mother-in-law. All in all, I'm thankful that things didn't end up worse. The kids only cared about their grandma being okay. Some answers to questions asked. 1. My mother-in-law is a retired school teacher and on a very limited fixed income, along with my father-in-law. There is no inheritance or any other reason my wife would have wished her ill. They have a great relationship. My wife sprang out of bed the moment the accident happened and was almost detached and clinical at the moment, but was later extremely emotional. Her father had a major stroke last year, and we actually just sold our house Friday in order to move closer to her parents to help care for them in their old age. 2. While my wife has been an NICU nurse for a decade, she was a step-down ICU nurse for 8 years. I realize that doesn't strengthen her case regarding her decision, but perhaps it adds context. She really is remarkable with babies and has saved many a life, but I can certainly understand why the circumstances of these events would paint her in a less than beneficial light. And 3, in retrospect, I think my wife was in a state of shock. She's never lost anyone, and her dad's stroke is still fresh on her mind. I've lost both parents and 4 siblings, plus plenty of friends in my time in the service, so I have to look at her through a lens of empathy. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!